Hello there.
Hello, SMM5 here, and today we will be doing something a little different. Today, we will be making an analysis of the SMG4 character, Melony. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and let me know what you think of Melony in the comments below. Now, let's get into it. Melony's first appearance in SMG4, weirdly enough, is twofold. She canonically first appeared in the SMG4 video, I Can't Believe It's Not SMG4, where she served as SMG3's version of Meggy Spletzer, but she technically appeared earlier in the Home Alone video as Mario's substitute for Meggy instead. But I digress from that. Melony started out as a joke character, as SMG4 personifying a prop, that is until the SMG4 video, Mario's Mask of Madness, where she got the fierce deity mask from Legend of Zelda and became a person. Since then she's been a person who sleeps all the time, and usually hanging out with Axel, who as we all know had a big time crush on her, and this would lead to videos like The Bet and the Melony Felony where it would be centered around those two. In 2021 though, Melony had to face the threat of her best friend, Axel, falling victim to Zero's plans using his body, and ended up having to destroy him herself, which would of course lead to the Revelations arc where Melony trains to become strong enough to fight for her friend's survival and ends up killing Zero once and for all. Axel's death also led to Melony setting a goal to finish Two Piece in his memory, and her owning a pet axolotl, and since then she has been mostly seen hanging out with the rest of the SMG4 crew, namely in the Legal and Safe SMG4 show. Melony can only really be described as a very wholesome character. She tends to sleep a lot of time, though that trait has been shown less lately, and she likes doing things with her friends, like when she learned rapping from Bob and wanted to find something to do in the totally safe and legal SMG4 show. She does seem to be easily influenced, which is mostly evident in her dynamic with Bob and other instances where she'd join in on the fun. She has been described as having the innocence of a 5-year-old, and she tends to come into videos with a positive attitude and is easily excited. But when the time really calls for fighting, or when she's just mad, she knows how to turn up and get serious, like in the basketball video where she went God mode once her bed was destroyed. So overall Melony is a mostly kind-hearted character that has no problem putting a smile on anyone's faces. She's cute and nice and easily influenced, but she's also the kind of person you want to stay on the good side of at all times. The most obvious development this character has had is her transformation from a fruit into a person that can move and talk. The fierce deity mask made her a person and, due to its power, a goddess who can go toe-to-toe with a universe-destroying monster that is Zero. Since her transformation, she has had two major arcs and developments with her character up to this point in time. The first being the development of the romance between her and Axel. Axel had a crush on her since she transformed into a person, and since then has spent a lot of time hanging out and bonding with her. The most notable episode in this plot point is, in my opinion, the Melony Felony, where Axel spent the day protecting her from Bob's bad influence and she started to like being around him back, as opposed to just Axel being there and her not really caring that much, like in The Intruder. Other videos where they were a duo like Mario's Bed and Breakfast and The Bed, show them working together and making for a good team. They developed a bond to where Melony was legitimately worried about Axel after he was in Zero's USB, and she tried everything she could to get Axel to safety, ultimately failing and sharing their first and final kiss before his destruction. I will admit, it is kind of a shame we didn't see how their relationship would have progressed beyond confessing their love for each other, though I suppose that does make the death even more sad and Melony's next arc even more compelling. After the events of the Genesis arc, Melony was seen training to master her powers and become stronger so she could be powerful enough to protect her friends from another threat just like Zero. Meggy offers to coach her and they both go to Omni Academy. During her time in Omni Academy, she finds herself learning from a character named Niles, who, while later on turning out to be an evil piece of shit, actually ends up teaching her more about being powerful than the teachers. By the time we get to the video, Absolute Betrayal, Melony seems to have a good control over her powers, though not a total mastery given she fell asleep just after a training session with Niles. During this she gets kidnapped by the Box Club, and later on fully possessed by Niles during the reveal that he is actually Zero all along, and flies over to the God Box in a ship. After entering the God Box and crash landing in SMG Zero's mini-universe, Melony faces a mind torture simulation created by Niles to prey off of her insecurities and fears. particularly of the idea that she failed Axel and will fail to protect her friends. She overcomes this by knowing she is not alone, and remembering that she still has friends to fight for, and later on takes back her body and faces Zero again. She loses the fight and gets eaten, and is later confronted with a choice to either die and be with Axel in peace, or to stay alive and save her friends. She chose the latter, she chose life, and she chose to face Zero one last time. She wins the final rematch with the Eldritch Meme God and even ended up freeing SMG0, who was suffering the same thing she previously could not save Axel from, which is a great way to show progression, and she finished the fight with a bang. Since then, after escaping the God box and finding closure, she continues to live her life and knows that she still has one worth living. I for one really liked her arc of falling in love, losing her love, and deciding to become stronger in response to her loss, and overcoming those who attempted to push her down, because like a good man once said,
no matter what, always get back up.
So overall she's had a pretty interesting development over the years of her character, and an interesting character arc that I for one really liked. Melony initially did not have goals or dreams, she more or less just went with whatever was going on in her life until she met the SMG4 gang and joined their group. Then Axel died and she wanted to become stronger with their deity powers, and she succeeded and stands as one of the most powerful characters in the SMG4 universe. Now she has a goal of completing Axel's two-piece manga in his memory and getting better at drawing. I will admit I do wish this was more touched upon in videos, at least giving references to that as opposed to it just standing as another forgotten plot point that will never be explored. But if this ever gets touched upon again I will be happy to see it. Though Melony's god powers do introduce a slight problem with her potential in videos, and that's that she's kind of overpowered and any fight with her in it would either be unfair in the gang's favor or contradict the point of her power level arc, that being to protect her friends. It also raised some questions in videos like how on earth Luigi was able to beat her, among other things, and why she wasn't seen in her fierce deity form against Luigi EXE. But other than that she is pretty good in casual videos. She has a great mix between being wholesome and funny that the majority of SMG4 characters don't tend to have, and it makes videos like the safe and legal SMG4 show better because of her roles in them. And her dynamics with other characters are good too. She has good chemistry with Mario, Bob, and Meggy, and I can see her working in a dynamic well with Boopkins, Tari, Psycho, SMG3, and Luigi too. You can put her in a video with just about anyone and it'll more than likely work well. So other than stuff involving fighting, she's majoritively good in videos. So overall Melony is a good SMG4 character, and honestly my favorite female character in SMG4. She's wholesome and cute, but at the same time she's funny and goofy and she has good dynamics with other characters. She had a good arc and there's still more that can be done with her story. She is a great creation from SMG4 and I would love to see more of her. That is all for today's video guys and I hope you enjoyed. Do you think I did a good job analyzing this character? Are you a fan of Melony from SMG4? If so to either of those questions, would you like to see me analyze any other SMG4 characters? Because I was thinking next I do SMG3 or Psycho. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content. See you all next time.